Welcome to English Literature for Everyone. I am your educator Arushi, and today I will start Plead Mercy by Anne Ranasinghe. It is part of MA English Semester 4 in Lucknow University. If you want me to cover more such content, do let me know in the comments down below. Let's start. So, before we move on to the poem, let's start with the author. Anne Ranasinghe was a Jewish German poetess who later moved to Sri Lanka. So, as you know, during World War II, Jewish people were persecuted by Nazis in Germany, and author's family was also killed during that time. So, from a very young age, this author had a strong opinion against atrocities that were inflicted on marginalized people and advocated for their rights. In her poem, you would often see the theme of alienation and problems faced by the weaker section of society. She was also a founding member of the English Writers Cooperative in Sri Lanka. Now, this poem, Plead Mercy, was published in 1975. This poem has an epitaph, Sabbe Satta Bhavatu Sukhi Hotu, which means, may all being be happy. She wrote this poem during a time when there was a civil unrest in Sri Lanka. This poem primarily focuses on cruelty against animal. However, it has some hidden themes. In this poem, we will see how the poetess discontent towards the unfair treatment of Tamilians in Sri Lanka is presented through an animal. So let's start with the poem. These are the first four lines. We pass a bullock yoked to a cart. Straining uphill, he shivers. With effort, his bones protrude and taunt skin quiver. The poem starts with a poetess and her daughter who are seeing a bullock cart passing through a steep hill. Now, the bull who is pushing the cart is personified. The poetess uses the word he, his for the bull. Okay, so she says, he shivers with efforts, his bone protrude, the taunt skin quiver. As both of them notice the pain of the bull, they see how he shivers as he gets hit by the leash and how his bone can be seen through his stretched skin. Taunt means being stretched or something that is being pulled tightly. So, in these lines, you can also notice the alliteration protrude and taunt skin quiver. The alphabet T is being repeated, right? Now, coming on to the next line. At each whip of sharp thrown stick, there is no expression on his face. The cart driver uses his leash to whip the bull to move faster. The pain that bull feels is so intense that his face has become blank. However, as the next line states, the author can see the pain in Bull's eyes as he pleads for mercy. Foam slavers from his lips as he travels to increase his pace. Due to immense pain, the slaver or the owner of the bull beams with joy. He, unlike the author and her daughter, feels no sympathy for the bull and is happy to whip him. Basically, finds happiness in how the bull is being tortured. By seeing all this, author's daughter asks her a very important question. Does he think life is worth living? A person, or in this case, a bull, who is constantly being tortured by the cart driver. The author's daughter asks, does he think that such a life is better than death? By hearing such a philosophical question, author says that the life is always better than death. I tell her what I know is not true, that life is always better than death. While author is not sure herself, she tries to convince her daughter otherwise. However, her daughter is not satisfied by this answer. In order to free others from their misery, she would give up her own life, like how people die during revolution. Coming back to the bull, the mother and daughter see that after sheer misery, the bull has fallen down and it is at the side of the road. He is unable to move due to exhaustion and pain. The bull tries to rise as the driver whips him, but he is unable to do so. Now, by seeing such a scene, the author asks God to have some mercy on the bull. Then she prays for her daughter, who, despite such a young age, has become familiar to the cruelty of this world. And This is what the last line states. Lord have mercy on his eyes, my daughter is just 13. Despite being only 13 years old, her daughter now understands how cruel the world is. And with this, the poem ends. So, as I stated earlier, while this poem talks about animal cruelty, it also addresses the unfair persecution of weaker section of our society. Here, the cart driver represents people in power who abuse and violate weaker people and marginalized section of the society. The bull represents people who are affected by these car drivers. Basically, they are abused and go through physical, emotional, and financial or even psychological tortures due to their greed. The cart driver only wants his comfort and profit, so he loads heavy goods to the cart. He does not care how miserable Bull was, right? Now, the girl in the poem represents the younger generation of our society who question such unfair practice and raise their voice against it. Meanwhile, her mother represents the older generation who often ignore such injustices and uh, suppress their inner voice. Now, coming on to the themes. In this particular poem, there are four important themes. The first theme is suffering. The poetess uses the character of bull to show us the suffering of an animal and compares it with the people who are forced to endure hardship for someone else's gain. The second theme is social injustice, where the bull suffers from carrying heavy load and also faces the whip. Through his eyes, Bull tries to ask for mercy, but he's ignored by car driver and the spectators. The third theme is compassion, where through the eyes of mother and daughter, we see the plight of the bull. As an audience, we feel sorry for the poor animal and question the brutality of the world. In the fourth theme, value of life, the girl in the poem asks a valuable question whether life is worth living or not, if someone has to live in such a harsh or cruel conditions. With this, we come to an end. If you like this video, share and subscribe to my channel. For any doubts or query, comment down below. Thank you.